Three heroes are dominating bans in patch 2.1.47. But why exactly is Gloo, Sora, and Freya striking so much fear in drafts? These three aren't just strong, they're disruptive, oppressive, and capable of swinging entire matches with one draft stage decision. With staggering ban rates and consistent performance across ranks, teams are prioritizing shutting them down before the game even begins. Today we break down exactly why these heroes are terrorizing the ban phase and what it means for the meta. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. Patch 2.1.47 has reshaped the Mobile Legends meta in a big way, and the ban phase has become more cutthroat than ever before. Certain heroes are no longer just strong, they're must-ban threats in competitive and ranked play alike. In this video, we'll dive deep into why these three heroes are topping the ban charts and how their kit's strengths are translating into match dominance, and even what this means for your draft strategy moving forward this season. Bans aren't only about picking the strongest hero. They're about neutralizing threats that are difficult to manage, especially in solo queue or when coordination is lacking. Even minor nerfs like those applied to Sora's ultimate in this patch haven't reduced their perceived threat level. This is why these three heroes continue to top the charts. Gloo in particular remains a formidable presence even after targeted adjustments. His kit offers a level of disruption that few other tanks can match. When Gloo lands his ultimate on a target, he attaches to them, transferring 80% of damage dealt to him onto the enemy hero. This forces opponents into a dilemma: either focus Gloo and risk wasted damage, or ignore him and suffer massive losses. Beyond this ultimate, his first and second abilities allow him to slow, immobilize, and sustain himself during early skirmishes, making him a hero that can snowball from the very beginning of the game. If Gloo gains a lead, his rotations into mid-game fights can decisively swing objectives. The psychological impact of Gloo should not be underestimated too. Many players ban him not only because of his raw mechanics, but also because his presence complicates coordination, especially in solo queue where misplays can easily amplify his effectiveness. Then we have Sora, whose popularity as a ban is rooted in his versatility and unpredictability. Unlike more straightforward fighters, Sora can transform between two forms: Thunder form, which functions like a high mobility burst assassin, and Torrent form, which acts as a disruptor with control capabilities. This flexibility allows him to adapt to various phases of the game, trading efficiently in the early game and executing powerful assassination combos or initiation plays in the mid to late game. Even with his ultimate cooldown slightly increased in patch 2.1.47, players continue to fear his presence because Sora's kit requires precise responses that many solo queue teams struggle to execute. The complexity of timing, form switching, and proper combo execution means that even experienced players often opt to ban him rather than the risk of unpredictable outcomes, reinforcing his position as a top ban pick. Freya's ban value comes not from just her raw damage output, but from her sustained presence in fights and her scaling potential. Her passive generates sacred orbs that increase her attack speed, fuel her spirit combo, and make her auto attacks consistently threatening. When she activates her ultimate, Valkyrie's Descent, her attack range and damage spike dramatically, making her a sustained combat threat that is difficult to ignore. Freya's early game trades allow her to pressure lanes and objectives effectively, while her scaling ensures that she remains a factor well into the late game fights. What makes her truly ban-worthy, though, is not only her strength, but the frustration she can create. Opponents must constantly decide whether to engage or retreat when she dives into fights, and even when counters exist, poorly timed responses can turn her into an unmanageable threat. The common thread among these three heroes is their ability to impact the game from early stages while maintaining relevance through mid and late phases. Gloo forces positional errors and creates chaos with his attach mechanic. Sora adapts dynamically to disrupt or assassinate, and Freya maintains constant threat through her sustained damage and scaling. In the current meta, early game snowballing is more impactful than ever, and these three heroes excel at leveraging early advantages into objective control, teamfight dominance, and overall map influence. They aren't just powerful on paper, They are frustrating and psychologically taxing for opponents, which amplifies their ban priority. Another key factor driving high ban rates is the difficulty of counterplay. While counters exist for all three heroes, executing them correctly requires precise timing, knowledge of mechanics, and coordinated teamwork. Many solo queue players and even mid-tier competitive teams struggle to consistently counter these heroes, leading to a perception that banning them is the safest route. The ban phase in patch 2.1.47 reflects this reality. It's less about raw statistical advantage and more about potential disruption, frustration, and snowballing that these heroes can produce. The combination of mechanical threat, scaling potential, and mental pressure creates a compelling case for why Gloo, Sora, and Freya dominate bans across all ranks. Ultimately, patch 2.1.47 has emphasized heroes that can influence game early, scale effectively, and exert teamfight control. And Gloo, Sora, and Freya fit this mold perfectly. Gloo's attachment mechanic and early game utility make him a constant threat. Sora's dual form flexibility creates unpredictability that few teams are ready for, and Freya's sustained damage and scaling potential make her a persistent danger in every phase of the game. Together, these three heroes illustrate a broader trend in the current meta. Ban priority is as much about psychological pressure and snowball potential as it is about raw damage or survivability stats. Understanding why these heroes are consistently banned helps players anticipate drafts, identify strategic priorities, and prepare counterpicks that can mitigate their impact. But for me, the ban trends in patch 2.1.47 reveal a deeper layer of strategy in Mobile Legends drafts. It's all about risk management. Teams and solo queue players alike aren't just banning heroes because they're strong. They are banning heroes that have the potential to single-handedly swing the outcome of a match. Gloo, Sora, and Freya are prime examples. Each possess tools that force opponents to respond immediately. Whether it's Gloo's lethal attach mechanic, Sora's unpredictable dual form burst, or Freya's sustained and scaling damage. By removing these threats from the draft entirely, players reduce the risk of facing high-pressure situations and could snowball against them early. This shows that banning is not merely a defensive move, but a calculated strategic choice that shapes how the rest of the game unfolds. What makes this meta particularly fascinating is how these bans influence drafting psychology. Teams often prioritize denying these heroes over selecting their own comfort picks, demonstrating that the perceived threat of a hero can outweigh its objective strength. In practice, this shifts the competitive landscape. First bans dictate who is left in the pool, which in turn affects hero composition, lane matchups, and team synergy. For instance, banning Gloo not only prevents a sticky early game disruptor from dominating fights, but also frees up opportunities for other tanks and supports to take over objectives without constant pressure. Similarly, removing Sora forces opponents to reconsider aggressive rotations and prioritize safer, more predictable picks. Even Freya's ban impacts both drafting and in-game tempo, as teams must account for her scaling threat in rotations and teamfights. Basically, patch 2.1.47 illustrates that banning is less about hero power in isolation and more about controlling the game's flow from draft to late game. Players who understand these dynamics can make smarter ban decisions, reduce risk, and increase the likelihood of securing favorable matchups. The prevalence of Gloo, Sora, and Freya bans highlight that competitive success depends as much on drafting intelligence as mechanical skill, reinforcing the idea that the ban phase is one of the most strategically significant moments in a match. Patch 2.1.47 has firmly established Gloo, Sora, and Freya as the most banned heroes, driven by their ability to snowball early, control teamfights, and scale into late-game threats. Understanding why these heroes dominate bans gives players insights into the meta, helping them make smarter drafting decisions and avoid being caught off guard. Recognizing the strategic weight of these bans is key to improving rank performance and gaining an edge in both solo queue and competitive play. So I want to hear from you. Which hero have you been banning the most in this patch? Drop your answer in the comments and join the discussion. And don't miss our next video where we break down the strongest picks and counters this patch so you can optimize your drafts and dominate every game. Till next time.